Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Gabrielle. Today we're going to do a reformer workout for golfers. It's important for golfers to work on their rotation. So not only are we going to work on thoracic rotation in this video, but also thoracic extension, which is really going to improve your rotation. It's important to mobilize the spine in all aspects for the golfer. We're going to work on core work, which is important to maintain strong form, pelvic stability, a little bit of hip loosening. And yeah, if you have any questions, please comment below. I hope you enjoy the video. I am starting with a red spring and a blue, so one heavy and one medium. The bar is down. Go ahead and lie down on your back. And if your legs need a little bit more room, you can always put your feet on the bar if that feels better. So finding your neutral spine, natural curve of the spine. The tailbone is down. You can allow little space between your lower back and the carriage, but then your rib cage stays nice and anchored on that carriage. Arms by your sides, and try to relax the shoulders down. Feeling the top tips of the shoulder blades just kind of gravitating towards the floor. Put your hands on your belly. We're going to take a big inhale into the belly. Fill your belly up with air. On the exhale, draw the belly in, away from your hand, towards your spine to activate your core. And again, big inhale into the belly. On the exhale, draw the belly in. And on the end of that exhale, feel your ribs pulling together to exhale out all the air. And keep going, you guys. See if you can engage the pelvic floor as well. So as you start to exhale, feel your lower abdominals lifting upwards towards the belly button. So upwards, not the ceiling, but like towards the nose. Just guiding the air out, starting from those low abdominals and pushing the air out all the way out. Ribs connect. Let's do one more. My shoulders were a little tense, so just a reminder to relax them. Now arms can go by your sides. On this next exhale, we're going to still draw the belly in, but tuck. So let's take an inhale. Exhale, navel to spine. Start to tilt your pelvis to gently press the lower back in toward the carriage. Inhale to release. Untuck the pelvis. Heavy sit bones. And exhale. Working on that core activation. Again, relaxing the shoulders. Two more. And coming back to neutral. Go ahead and grab your straps behind you. Short straps for more weight, long straps for less weight. Arms up to the ceiling. Make sure your hands aren't here. See how they're kind of above my shoulders? We want them kind of slightly below. Now, before we take our feet off, go ahead and find your neutral spine. So if you notice that you're tucking again, go ahead and untuck. Make sure your ribs are down. Draw navel to spine to activate the core. Now, if you feel like your arms are kind of pulling upwards, go ahead and without bending your elbows, go ahead and pull the arms down. So it's like you want the back part of that shoulder to, the top back part to press gently in towards the carriage. From here, bring one leg up to tabletop and then the other. So already our core is working here to stabilize everything, right? Stabilizing the pelvis, stabilizing the rib cage, stabilizing the lower back. Now on the exhale, push into the straps. Bring your arms all the way down to the carriage and then back up. Belly to spine. Exhale. As the arms go down, try not to let the shoulders pull upwards like this. Try to keep pressing the top back part of your shoulders down towards the carriage. See if you can connect with your back. So let it be the connection of the back of your armpits to your back that's initiating the move. On this next one, you guys extend one leg out, hold, navel to spine, strong. Bend the knee, bring the arms up, other side. Bend the knee, arms up, one more on each side. Make sure those ribs are not lifting up. And then pause. Nod the chin without lifting your head. On the exhale, head and shoulders come up, arms go down. Arms are 1 inch off the carriage here. Now, we're lifted to the bottom tips of the shoulder blades. So don't come up too high like this and try not to be too low. So from here, see if you can reach those fingertips as far as you can towards the bar, towards the platform. Draw the belly in a little deeper. Imagine a marble on your belly button that you are scooping in. From here, extend one leg out and hold it here. Hold it here, you guys. See if you can draw the belly in a little deeper. Reach those toes, reach those fingertips. Bend the knee back and stay here. Extend the other leg out, reach. Navel to spine, reach those fingertips, reach those toes. Bend the knee, legs together, both legs out. Hold. If you notice that your back is lifting up, just bring your legs up a little higher for modification. Hold it here, squeeze those inner thighs, reach, draw the belly, strong, strong, strong. Bend the knees, arms up, head down. And we're gonna curl right back up and extend the right leg. Curl up, reach. Come on down. Other side, curl up, reach. Come on down. One more on each side. Last one here. And go ahead and put your feet down. Hook your straps up. Good job, you guys. Let's come on up. And we're going to straddle the carriage. All right. Let's drop it to one blue spring, so one medium spring on. We're going to stay straddling the carriage and just getting into our rotations. Don't try to push the rotation too strongly at first. We're just going to reach the right hand to the shoulder block in the back, twisting towards the right. Your left hand can be right on the edge of the carriage there. We're going to take one big inhale. On the exhale, draw the belly in. That's all I want you to do. And keep going, you guys. As you exhale, grow a little taller. So it's important here as we start, and keep breathing, as we start these rotations, we're going to try not to go into an anterior tilt, which is sitting in front of your sit bones. We're going to try to remain right on top of the sit bones to get the most out of our core work and to stay aligned. So one more inhale here, grow tall. On the exhale, gently press into the shoulder block to help with a gentle rotation. Don't push too hard. Hold. Notice if you've tilted forwards on your sit bones. If so, come on back right on top of them. See if you can grow a little taller. Reach the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Don't lift the chin up. Come back to center. One more time. Inhale, grow tall and start to twist. Keep growing tall. See if you can push your right hip ever so slightly forwards so that the hips don't rotate with you. And come back to center. Let's do the other side. So just staying here. Don't rotate too much here at first. Just inhale, grow tall. Exhale, draw the belly in a little deeper. Feel the shoulders pulling down. On your next exhale, go ahead and rotate towards the left. Just a gentle rotation with a little assistance from the arms. Again, notice if you've rocked in front of your sit bones and try to come right back on top of them. And come back to center one more time. Inhale, grow tall. Navel to spine. Exhale, grow. Keep growing tall as you rotate. Push that left hip ever so slightly forwards if you've noticed that it's pulling back. Remember not to lift the chin up. Crown of the head towards the ceiling. And come back to center. Awesome, you guys. All right, let's continue. We're still on that medium spring. We're going to carefully come up onto our knees. All right. The closer the knees are towards the shoulder blocks, the lighter the spring. The more the knees are towards the bar, the heavier the load. So wherever you want to be, I'm just going to kind of be in the middle here. Go ahead and grab your strap that's in front here. Right hand in. I'm going to use a long strap. If you want a little more weight, you can grab the short strap instead. And we're going to start with the right arm in front, and the left arm is going to go right. The left hand is going to go right on top of that right hand. So from here, Drop the shoulders. Imagine you're holding a really big bowl of guacamole. We're going to inhale, same thing. Find the length. Lift the spine out of the hips. Draw the belly in, exhale. Little rotation at first, just a little one, and pause. Now notice if you feel like your left hip pressed back. If so, push your left hip forwards. We're going to aim to keep both hips pointing straight forwards the entire time. And now come back to center. Again, a little deeper rotation. Draw the belly and exhale, rotate and hold. Now try to keep your hands here centered with your chest. And then if you've noticed that your left rib is pulling down towards your hip like this, feel that bottom rib lift up off of your hip bone to keep the length in that left side. And let's rotate all the way to the right. That was a long hold. And again, exhale, rotate, hold. Drop the shoulders, especially that right one, and come back all the way to the right. Navel to spine. Exhale. Inhale. Another little cue that can help you is think of that right knee pressing into the carriage, staying grounded. 3 more. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Last one here. And back to center. Keep that right hand in a long strap. Left hand's going to go still on top of it, but we're going to lower the arms down towards the hip. Again, for this move, keep both hips pointing straight ahead. So I am aware that for golfing, your hips will move, so we're going to do an exercise for that later. All right, just trying to get the most out of our thoracic rotation for now. So, shoulders backing down, abdominals are tight. From here, we're going to swing those arms up without swinging the hips, and then slowly come back to starting position. So starting at the right hip, looking in that direction, let the gaze follow your hands. Working on a lot of stability here in the form. 3 more. Try not to let your carriage click in. Last one here. Oops. And then back. Let's do the other side. So hook that strap back up. Go ahead and swivel on over. Again, let's grab the same strap you had on the other side. I had the long one. Left hand in front of your chest, right hand on top of that hand. Make sure you have a nice big bowl of guacamole there in your arms. Shoulders back and down. Try not to interior tilt your pelvis like this. Same thing. Neutral pelvis. Navel to spine. Rotate and hold this first one. Again, notice if your hips have shifted. If so, push that right hip forwards. And then notice if your right rib has kind of collapsed down and lift it up. Let's rotate just to the center. And again, one more time, a little bit further. And let's go all the way to the left. Let your head follow the movement. So your trunk is really moving all in just one piece. Working the obliques, working the back. Good. Keep lifting the spine out of the hips. A lot of times, and I'll do it wrong on this next one, people want to really lead with the arms, so this will happen. See how my left arm kind of straightened and my arms aren't centered with my chest anymore? Try to avoid that. The arms are just kind of going along for the ride. Let's do 2 more. Last one. and then back to center. Left arm, left hand still on the strap, right hand on top, starting at your left hip. Keep both hips square towards the front, looking down towards that left hand, shoulders back and down. Strong core, and we swing. And then back down. This side feels really different than my other side. It's probably normal to have one side that works a little bit more efficiently than the other, unless you're super symmetrical. Let's do 4 more. Try to keep the shoulders down away from the ears as you swing up. Last one here. And back down. Awesome, you guys. Go ahead and hook that strap up. And I want you to sit down on your reformer with your feet on the floor. I'm going to sit here on the headrest so you can see what I'm going to be talking about. All right, thoracic extension. So a lot of times, let's actually, before I get into that, let's start moving. Let's have our arms out in a sort of goal post and start to sit right on top of your sit bones. So again, trying not to do this action. Noticing where the peaks of your sit bones are and sitting right on top. We're going to tilt the chest up into our thoracic extension, but we're going to be bending right from the mid-back. So for ladies, it's right where the bra strap is. From here, so drop the shoulders, draw the belly in. Now tilt your chest up, bending from that mid-back. Just let your gaze naturally come up a little bit, and then come back to center. That's the move for now. Draw the belly in. Strong core is going to support that pelvis and lower back. And then back. It's a really small movement, and keep going, you guys. I'm going to illustrate it, show you the wrong way, is if you're doing this and you notice, if you can see that curve in the lower back being extra curvy, right? Pulling forward. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to move the lower back. Try to keep the low back as stable as you can and bend the spine from the midsection. And back to center. One more time. And back to center. All right, you guys. So we're going to sit on the reformer with our legs between the shoulder blocks. Again, we're still in that medium spring. Make sure you don't have too much room behind you. If the straight leg sitting does not work for you, you can always bend your knees a little bit. You can also come into a cross-legged position, whatever works best for you. All right, let's go ahead and grab the straps, and we're going to cross them. 2 fingers inside the little triangles there. If you don't have these guys, maybe the short straps, or just hang on to the knots. Okay, sitting up super tall, again, right on top of the sit bones. Let's bend the elbows back and hold. So from here, let's try to keep the forearms parallel to the floor. Drop the shoulders, navel to spine. Without moving the arms, really, we're just going to, same thing, bend from the mid-back, and then back to center. So we're doing the same move we just did, our back extension with a holding rowing position. Working the mid-back, working the upper back, strengthening our spines, our backs, mobilizing our spine. Let's do 2 more. Really feel those shoulder blades pulling down towards the floor. And back. Arms out. Go ahead and row and squeeze the shoulder blades. Pause. Draw the belly in deeper. Extend the arms. 4 more. I know the weight is light here, so make the most of it. Really squeeze the shoulder blades and push them down. See if you can grow taller as you pull back. Last one here. And back to center, pause. Now, widen the collarbones. From here, keep the right arm straight, bend the left elbow, rotate towards the left, and pause. Keep pushing your left hip forwards. Again, try not to move the hips. Grow taller, look back. Come back to center. Other side, left arm straight. Imagine you're holding a bow. Pull back, hold. Look back, grow a little taller. and back to center. So here, and keep going, we're working the muscles a little bit more towards the shoulder blade. One more on each side. Last one here. And back to center. Good job, you guys. Go ahead and hook the straps back up. We're going to come up onto our knees. And the toes can kind of hang off the reformer there. Before we use the straps, let's go ahead and just put our hands behind our head. One on top of the other, shoulders down. Navel to spine, and we're just going to gently rotate, pushing the left hip forwards, and pause. From here, round your spine forwards for a slight flexion. Stack the spine back up, and rotate back to center. Other side, rotate, keep the hips square to the front. Grow tall, drop the shoulders, draw the belly in, little flexion here. Come back up. And then come back to center, release the arms down. Let's grab the left strap, 2 fingers inside the little triangle there, or hold on to the knot. Let's have the left arm in front. So this is the same move that we just did sitting down with our bow and arrow move, but we're doing the advanced version here. So keep reaching the left arm forwards, keep both hip bones pointing straight ahead. Bend that right elbow and rotate to the right without rotating your hips. Pause. A lot of core work here, because if you go too fast, this will happen, a face plant. So really be careful, you guys. And then come back to center, slowly. And again, rotate, hold. Sit up taller or kneel up taller, look back. And back to center. Big exhale. Let's do 2 more. And center, last one here. And back to center. Let's switch the sides. So again, go slow. Drop the shoulders, widen the collarbones. Rotate. Poke the wall back there with your elbow. Look back. And center. And again, try not to let the hips move. Making sure your right arm isn't flimsy. Keep some power in that arm. I lost count. Let's do 2 more. Last one here. Feel those knees anchor into the carriage. And back to center. Hook the strap up. Walk your knees up so they're against the shoulder blocks, hands on the frames of the carriage. Knees underneath the hips, wrists underneath the shoulders, neutral spine here. Activate your core, navel to spine. And from here, without hinging from the shoulders, I want you to tuck your pelvis, round your back like a cat, pull the knees forwards and drop the head, pause. Navel to spine, we're working on core here, and then slowly unravel. And again, start with the pelvis tilt, pubic bone pulls towards the belly button. Think of your lower back trying to reach up towards the ceiling. And then unravel. 3 more. It's also all about the hold, so take your time. And 2. Last one here. And bring it back to center. All right, you guys, now walk your hands forwards a little bit more. We're gonna come up into a plank. So I like to have my heels together, toes apart, but if you prefer your heels parted, go for it. All right, so checking in with that form, strong, strong belly. Squeeze those inner thighs, squeeze those glutes. Pull the shoulders back away from the ears. Make sure your arms aren't locked. All right, either stay here. If you want a little more challenge, we're going to pike. Hips go up, tuck the head, and slowly bring it back. I'm on a medium spring. It is pretty heavy. If you want it a little lighter, switch to a yellow spring. 2 more. Last one. And then carefully come down onto your knees. And you can take a child's pose. Sitting on your heels, arms reaching away. And then come all the way back up. All right, let's switch it now to one yellow. All right, so we're on a light spring. We're gonna grab the short strap and then have a nice wide stance here with our feet parallel to one another. We're going to bend the knees slightly. Think heavy tailbone. So arms are gonna stay low, left hand on top of the right hand. And now we're gonna include some hip just rotations with the body to kind of mimic a part of the golf swing. So pulling the right hip back, left hip forwards, dropping the shoulders down. This is going to work the core, the obliques too as well. We're going to just pull, so let the hips rotate towards the left, bring your arms with you, and then slowly back to starting position. So left hip pulls forwards, right hip pulls back, and then left hip pulls back, right hip pulls forwards. It is important to maintain a strong core as you do this to protect the lower back. Let's do two more. Last one. Awesome, and hook the strap back up. So by stabilizing and really focusing on the stabilizing, I could also feel my glutes and hips work as well. All right, let's go ahead and do the other side. So wide stance, feet parallel, bend the knees, heavy tailbone. All right. Letting the hips shift. So as you twist to the left, left hip pulls back, right hip pulls forwards, twist to the right, right hip pulls back, left hip pulls forwards. Strong core, belly to spine. Pay attention to your posture. Two more. And last one. Awesome. Go ahead and hook the strap back up. So let's work on just hip strength a little bit here. So let's switch it to one red spring, take off the yellow. So we're on one heavy spring. Right forearm on the headrest, lie down on your right side, grab the strap. Put your whole leg inside the strap, all the way above the knee here. Make sure that your right hip is down and then your left hip is right stacked on top of your right hip. So try not to let your left hip pull back or too far forwards. Stay lifted out of the right shoulder here. Left hand can go on the headrest, on the shoulder block, in front of you. We're just gonna draw circles with that knee. Imagine there's paint on your kneecap and you're drawing a circle on the wall. All right, just working on hip strength and mobility, working on that glute med, the gluteus medius, your abductor. As you do these circles, really try not to let the hips move. Try not to let the lower back move. All just the leg, the glute muscles working. Let's go ahead and reverse the circle. Let's do two more. And then take the strap off. Feel free to do more of those. You can never do too many of those. Those are great. Let's do the other side. Left forearm on the headrest, right leg completely inside that strap. So again, make sure your hips are stacked so the right hip isn't pulling back or forwards. Good. Staying lifted. Right hand can go on the on the shoulder block, and you can go ahead and draw your circles. So a lot of times I see, as people go through this move, I start to see this and some sinking down. So try not to let that happen. Keep your ribs lifted. If it helps to put a ball here, like one of those inflated balls there underneath your rib cage, that may help you, just to kind of remind you to keep the ribs lifted. Let's reverse it. Again, try not to let the hip move. as you circle. Try not to round the body forwards. Really getting some nice lift. Let's do 3 more. And last one. All right, you guys are gonna enjoy this next move coming up. We're gonna stretch those hips out. So still remaining on that one red spring, lie on down, grab your right strap, put your right foot inside the strap. Take your left foot, left ankle, cross it over your right thigh and bend your right knee. So this is a figure 4 stretch, and it's a little extra figure 4 stretch because that weight is pulling this leg towards you, which makes a little bit more tension, a little bit more stretch for that left glute, for that left hip. If it feels good to kind of sway from one side to the other, usually here if we're stretching out the left hip, if you sway a little gently towards the right and hold, you'll feel even a deeper stretch. Feel free to hold it here for as long as you want, but I'm going to move on for this video. We're going to go ahead and straighten the leg, uncross the leg, then put your left foot on the platform or the bar, or you can even put it on the floor here, wherever it feels best. We're going to focus on a hamstring stretch for that right leg. So depending on your flexibility, you may be here, and that's fine if you have tight hamstrings, but just go work at your degree that you want to be in. And then you can grab onto the rope as well here, flex your foot, and gently pull on that rope. Now picture the head of your femur there, just being really heavy and pressing down into the hip socket, pulling down towards the floor to really ground that hip there. Feel all 5 toes pulling down towards the floor. A lot of times we forget about that little pinky toe. And then here, staying here, see if you can widen the sit bones more and pull them down towards the floor to get a little bit more neutral spine, a little less pressing of the lower back into the carriage, and that should help increase that hamstring stretch, especially towards the glute. And go ahead and take the strap off. Let's do the other side. Left foot in the long loop. Right ankle over the left thigh, bend the left knee, flex that right foot, and enjoy the stretch. A lot of times I hear golfers complaining about back issues, back pain, and a lot of times it is because they don't stretch out enough. So I can't stress enough on the importance of all these stretches here. The figure 4 stretch, hamstring stretches, hip flexor stretches, back stretches, just like forward folding when you're standing up. Those are all really, really good. Uncrossing and then focusing now on the hamstring stretch. Flexing the foot, heavy femur here in the hip socket, let it pull down. And again, if you want a little deeper stretch, feel your sit bones pulling downwards to let the lower back kind of lift up gently to feel a deeper stretch in the hamstring. Don't forget the pinky toe also pulling towards the floor. And take the strap off. Let's do some hip flexor stretches. So coming up, we're going to stay on that red spring. Just put your bars up. Bar up 2 notches to the high point. Left foot underneath the bar, right foot against the shoulder block, knee down. Hands on the bar and press the carriage out. You can also do these, if you prefer, with your knee up and not on the carriage. Whatever your preference is. Wherever you can feel this stretch here on the right hip flexor at its most. So pushing out. Try not to let this happen. See how I let my hip go back? Try to keep both hips square towards the front. So right hip pulls forwards, and think of your left hip or left sit bone pulling back. Good. And try not to end the session all slouched forwards. Try to remain nice and tall. Lead with the right heel, the back heel, pressing backwards to find a little bit of engagement in that leg. Again, you can stay here as long as you'd like. I'm going to go over to the other side. Pressing the carriage out. Again, pulling the left hip forwards and the right hip and right sit bone back. Leading with the left heel. To end the session, let's do a nice back and hamstring stretch. So let's do an elephant stretch. We're going to bring the carriage in, pop on an extra red. So you have 2 reds, 2 heavy springs. Hands on the bar. Walk your feet back. Transfer the weight into your legs and just flatten the back out. Look to where the springs are attached. We're going to press the carriage out and then pull the carriage back in. Keep going, you guys, just hinging from the hips. If you have tight hamstrings, switch it to a red and a blue. Take off 1 red. So you have 1 red, 1 blue, 1 heavy, 1 medium, and walk your feet forwards more. Now shift your weight back and press out and in. So this is a modification if you feel like you have tight hamstrings and the full version here is not letting you go all the way. As you pull the carriage in, feel the belly pull in towards your spine. Feel your hip bones pull away from your rib cage to lengthen both sides of your waist. Last one here. Then walk your feet forwards a little bit if you aren't there already. And just let your head hang heavy. Let your arms hang. Soft knees. Breathing into your back. Navel to spine. Slowly rolling up. 1 vertebra at a time. Head is the last thing to come up. Good job, you guys. All right. I hope you enjoyed the session. I have a lot of other YouTube videos, so make sure you click subscribe. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.